Okay, so we are starting migration, the lab for 2008 Active Directory migration from 2008, of course, to 2012. We have here two servers, but we need a 2008. I already have a clone. No, not a clone, template that I'm just gonna use for 2008. So you're installing it. I'm just gonna make a clone. When we start, of course, I still need to give the name and IP. So I'm just gonna quickly start creating a template. And what do you know? I don't have it. Cool. Okay, so I'll start a new installation. God, man. Don't go for server core. So I'm just going to install the whole thing because I remember. So new machine. I'm going for new machine, and then I'm going to select the ISO for 2008, which is in the ISO list. It detects 2008 R264. Next, it says data center. I'll just go for enterprise. There are so many editions showing here. I'll just go for enterprise, which is not saying core. And this is the username it's gonna create automatically, which is no problem. I'm just not gonna put the product key or password now. I'll just click next, press yes. So I'll just name it template, but today I don't have time for creating that. I'll put it on my SSD. Next, 40 GB is okay. I don't have to install anything there other than Active Directory. Next, customize hardware. For this class course, we're going for VMnet 12. So all my machines are on VMnet 12, although I'm not going to start the other ones. And
Is it necessary to do VMnet 12?
no, you could go for host only. So if VMnet 12, if the machines are there, they're not going to communicate with any other host only or VMnet 11 or. Okay, so I'm just sticking to what was decided on the course. Close, finish. My two machines are on with server 1, so I'm just gonna shut them down. The 2012 machines for the course, so I'm just gonna shut down guest, shut down guest. So the installation is starting for 2008. Okay, I'll just remove those, not remove, just. So 2008 installation is starting. We all have template for 2012. So while the installation for 2008 is starting, I'm just gonna go for cloning a 2012 machine. So clone from the template of 2012 to create a member server. Full clone. Next. Okay. So server 02, just the name. CANIPS migration. So I know it's temporary and I'm gonna delete it later. So server 2 CANIPS migration is the name I put for the VM. Inside I'm just gonna put server 2 for the OS. Okay, so while these procedures are going on, we're gonna try to learn about the FSMO roles and why are they mucho importante. Oops. Yeah, I put it. I have to go directly to the. So there are millions of folders here, and I'll just try to go directly to the FSMO. The main thing about FSMO roles, they haven't changed from 2003 to 2008 to 2012. They're still there. Same thing. Maybe one or two features might have changed, but there are lots of features there. But what are they? So let's go for there are 5 roles. Whenever you install Active Directory, there are 5 major roles that get installed. They cannot be copied. They cannot be so there. Suppose you can have 2 DNS, you can have 2 DHCPs, even you can have 2 Active Directory or more, 2 or more, but you cannot have these FSMO roles 2s and 3s. They can be moved only. There are 2 forest-wide roles and 3 domain-wide. So let's go step by step, and then I'll create some drawings. I'll also keep an eye on my lab. I think the clone is done. Yeah. So I'll just put it on start. Check my 2008. It's going on fine. Template. So I'll just put these to go ahead with the accept, so they're not stopped when I come back. So
You didn't tell what's the difference between migration and upgrading.
yeah, that's coming in the slide. But anyone, what's if I say migration, if I say upgrade, what do you think what's the difference? The point would be on to another machine. You're leaving this machine and leaving the roles or moving the roles from this to another. What's upgrade? I already gave the clue. Okay. Yeah. What's an upgrade? You're not leaving the machine. Yeah, you were saying?
When you have something that's already existing,
So you upgrade something that is already there on the machine. So if there's a 2008 installed, you can install over it 2012 on that same machine if it's 64-bit. You can upgrade. That is also called in-place upgrade. But when you're migrating, you're leaving or moving that role from that machine, physical machine, to another machine. That's the difference. So accept, ABC, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 2008 is nearly done. I think it's done for many. Okay, cool. So, okay, 2012 is also done. Okay, so 2012, I'll just put the IPs right away. It's not activated. So I'll just quickly put the IPs so we could start discussion. I'll put the name server 02. Okay. Okay. Close. Don't restart now. IP address. Properties. Uncheck v6. v4 double click. So 100, tab 255.0.0.0, 100. See, so easy to put. 100. Exact. Thank you. I'm not gonna say exactly. I really forgot that. So, thank you. Press OK. 101. No, it's still there. Okay. And then I can restart now. That's it. So this machine is okay. It's restarting 2008. So while it is restarting, so there are 5 operations masters in a single domain, Active Directory Forest. 5 operations masters roles in a single domain Active Directory forest. So we're gonna know slowly everything. Two of these operations masters roles are unique to the forest. So there are two forest-wide roles. When we say operations master role, this means one role performs certain kinds of tasks or duties. So there are two roles which are responsible for performing tasks and duties throughout the forest. And then there are three types of roles. There can be only one instance of each of these masters in the forest. So two of these perform tasks and duties on the forest level. Three of them perform in domain level. So each new domain have three operations masters role, and each new forest has two operations masters role. So if we just know this, and I put you a question, there is one forest, 10 domains. So how many roles are there forest-wide? How many roles are there domain-wide total? Total. So 10 domains. Each domain has 3 domain-wide roles. Total roles, yes. Total roles, yes. 32. How? So 30 in the domain, 10 domains, and one for each forest has 2 roles. How many forests are there? There can be, we're talking about one forest, right? So, let me check my pockets. Okay, cool. So first thing, we're going to mess with the roles today, and okay, so this is gonna get interesting. So 2 roles forest-wide, 3 roles domain-wide. Any new domain, these 3 roles will be there. When I say new domain, what do you mean by new domain? New domain, when I created, it was the root DC, root domain. Then all the child domains, and then their third type is tree domain, which has totally different name, but they're still in one forest. So you create a new domain, any of these types, 3 domain-wide roles gets created automatically. They have only one instance there. So this means they cannot be copied. There cannot be 2s of these roles.
What is tree domain?
Tree domain is this. We create a domain, we give a name. If we don't give a name, we cannot create, right? But, okay, staying in the same forest, we have, so a group of companies, just like now Best Buy and Future Shop, having no future now. So, yeah, that was like, whoa, shocker. Yeah, Future Shop, the whole thing is gone.
500 stores. They're all going to Best Buy.
Yeah, so all the warranties are going to the Best Buy. Yeah. They're going to take over half of the branches. They will turn into Best Buy's branches. And half of them are gone. So they are a group of parent company. They have 2 businesses, both Best Buy and Future Shop. So my domain, instead of this, if I go for Best Buy, we created an internal domain also, Best Buy, with all the computers, users, OUs, groups, and everything. And then that same company says, hey, my Future Shop employees create a new domain, but it should not have this name. It should not be created under this name. So you know what is the child domain? If we have a Best Buy Hamilton branch, we will just go for Hamilton dot best buy dot com dot local, if we have put it that. If we have Toronto, so tor dot best buy dot local, right? And Mississauga dot best buy dot local. The name Best Buy is there. The main thing is the name stays the same, the end name, the domain name stays the same throughout the. So you have a server called, you have two servers in Hamilton. Server one dot Hamilton dot best buy dot local. Server 2 dot Hamilton dot best buy dot local. Server 3 and so on. And all the, maybe you have 2,000 machines there. Every machine will have its name ending. Maybe there are 2,000 machines in Hamilton. So every machine will have its ending with a client number 32.hamilton.bestbuy.local. So the ending names stays the same. Tree domain, within the same forest, you totally change the name. That is called DNS namespace or tree. That's it. A tree is what? It's a separate DNS namespace. So within the same forest, within the security of the same forest, you create a totally different domain, and it has its branches in Toronto and Mississauga. And then there the servers they have it, server1.tor.futureshop.local, and their name goes on like this throughout with every machine, every server, and everything, right? And from Mississauga, server1.mississauga.futureshop.com, right? So the only difference is this forest supports two trees. One tree is this, and second tree is this. Tree is only a totally independent, separate name of two networks within the same forest. The only thing here, they can have a separate forest, futureshop.local, separate forest. That's it. That forest has nothing to do with this forest. But within the same forest, if you have two different independent namespaces going on, the benefit is that the employees of Toronto, server.toronto.futureshop.local or toronto.future.local, the employees can access the resources of Best Buy within the same forest. The permissions will be easily given to them. If they are separate forests, then you have to create a forest trust.
So the trust is between forests or domains?
So now it's, since our domain, it's still a domain within the same forest, so automatic trusts are already created.
Okay, but trusts are usually between the two separate forests.
If they are separate forests,
Yeah.
then you have to create a separate trust
Trust,
from the top level.
Trust can be
Here?
two domains.
But now it's a domain within the same forest, but with a totally separate namespace or name. So tree domain is this, that you have group of companies, they want to have their identity separate, but still they want to access each other's resources easily.
But then is there a possibility of not having a trust between two domains?
Yes, there is. Exactly. They have their own structure. In fact, that's a very good question. FutureShop, when you created the first domain called futureshop.local, the tree domain top level trust is only there, automatically created between bestbuy.local domain and futureshop.local domain. The top level trust is only created automatically, two-way trust. But if there was a subdomain of FutureShop and there is a subdomain of Best Buy, they don't have automatic trust created between them. But you can easily create them.
Like you said, these are two domains, right? Bestbuy.local, futureshop.local. How will I determine these two are part of one same forest?
So that's another good question. You as a system administrator would know that by going to Active Directory domains and trusts. There's a separate portion in Active Directory that shows who's a tree domain, which is child domain. So child domain we would know right away, same name in the end going on. Tree domain we would know right away, it's a totally separate name, but within the same forest it will show. But as a system administrator we would know. If as a client, no. We would not know that, oh, we are a tree domain, we are in the same forest, okay. But as a system admin, the only place to go to see that would be Active Directory domains and trusts. So if any new domain is created, 3 domain-wide roles will be created, and we're going to transfer those. We have to migrate those roles. So one main thing about the roles, whichever server has these 5 roles is the king of domain controllers. So there are domain controllers, 10 domain controllers, right? Somebody has to be the top guy. So the domain controller, always the first domain controller has all the 5 roles, and we can transfer these roles. But the first domain controller or the root DC of the root domain will have the 5 FSMO roles. So we'll go ahead with further details. First, I'll just quickly check my lab. Okay, so this is back. I'll go for server 1 inside. Press OK. OK. And change the IP. Now this will be 100, 100, 100. V6 unchecked. Double click. Tab 100. Alright, so when it restarts, I'll just start Active Directory, and then at least our lab is, well, we have to still join the 2012 to, okay, close, restart now. Okay, so we were talking about the 3 roles. So 2 forest wide, 3 domain wide. If the PowerShell command to check it, this can be run only on domain controller. The PowerShell command that will tell you which server holds the forest wide roles. So when we get the 2008 up and running with Active Directory, you restart, then run this command in the PowerShell, get -AD forest, and this will tell you which server. Maybe there are 10 domain controllers, but the role holder will be only one of them. So which one is that? In production environments, we normally disguise the names. If you go with the name list, you would never know who's the root DC. Here we say in lab DC1, DC2, but in production environment they go for M20486 or anything that does not show, hey, I am the root DC, attack me hackers. So it's always disguised names. But with PowerShell commands, and if you know what you're doing and what you're looking for, you would know right away who's the role holder and which server to, well, I won't say attack, which server to go. So AD forest would tell which server has forest roles, and AD domain commandlet will tell which server contains the domain FSMO roles. You can determine the location of the domain level operations master by running the get AD domain commandlet. You can also determine the location of the domain level operations masters by right clicking the domain. So there are 2 ways: run the commandlet, or you can just go for Active Directory using computers and then clicking operations master. We're going to go in detail and we're going to transfer those. But from graphical interface, you can go to Active Directory using computers, and then when you right click the domain name, you will see operations masters there. Then clicking operations. So this process displays, there's our display coming. Both commandlets are part of the Active Directory PowerShell module, which is invoked actually automatically when run on a Windows 2012 or R2 domain controller. So PowerShell, whenever you install Active Directory, PowerShell module gets installed. What is a PowerShell module? So it's a set of PowerShell commands for Active Directory. The PowerShell Active Directory module, I mean. There is our DNS module, which means PowerShell DNS commands. There's a module for every application that Microsoft has released. So this is a very, very clear picture. Okay, dim. It's so operations master is here, RID, PDC, infrastructure. These are the domain wide roles, but we're going to go in detail and we're going to see that. Anyway, this is the picture. We're going to go there as well. So what is the what are those roles? The forest-wide roles, domain naming master, schema master. So schema master and domain naming master are the two forest-wide roles that are doing tasks across the forest. Schema master and domain naming master. So we're going to go in detail, but what are the three domain-wide roles? PDC emulator, very, very important. Sorry. So PDC emulator, infrastructure master, and RID master. These are the three domain-wide roles. So we're going to get into details, and they all perform very critical tasks. If the role holder goes down or crashes, we would, in certain instances, we would know right away that the FSMO role holder is down. In other instances, we would know only when we are doing those tasks for which the role is responsible, right? So schema master and domain naming master are the forest-wide. So I could just clearly mention that the two forest-wide roles are forest-wide, right? Oops. So schema master, forest-wide role. What does it do? What is a schema master? Or there's a schema or scheme of things, we can say. So when we say schema master, it means the skeletal structure of Active Directory, the whole inside of the Active Directory. So schema means two things. Schema has, okay, I'll just move that. Schema is about classes and attributes of all the objects. So if I define it first in terminology, schema master, this guy is a blackbird, 100 down, huh? Sensei, okay, schema master role. So it has
schema is a skeleton. Then what's the configuration there?
So it has the skeletal. So I'm going to show you how it looks like as well, and it's going to be a. So it's a skeletal structure of Active Directory. It can be accessed by an administrator as a last resort to troubleshoot something in Active Directory, which problem is not being solved with normal ways. So if you go to the background of Active Directory, or if you open the engine of the car, now you open the engine itself, then you can just fix the engine, right? So it's just like if in Active Directory, in the front, we are creating users object, we are creating computer objects, we are creating OUs and groups. We can do that in schema as well by connecting directly to schema. It's not recommended, and we will see in a moment that why it's not, because it's not even understandable how we're going to make that changes without going through the lines, without going to the vendor document. So it has classes and attributes defined for all objects in the forest. So if a user object is created, what are the attributes and classes of that? It will have a password, it will have a modify password. You can modify the password for that user, for any user created. It's like a map of a new house. What will have? It will have on the first floor dining room, kitchen. Second floor 2 bedrooms, third floor 2 bedrooms, washroom. So there's a scheme of a house on a map, right? Just like that. So schema master has classes and attributes information for all the objects in the forest. Who are objects? Anything we create in Active Directory is an object. All the objects have users, computers. We can just define some of them. OUs, groups. So all these objects, you can go on and on and on and on and on. What is the attributes of the user object, a computer object? User will have password modification. User will log in user will have lots of properties. What user can do and how user will do it is defined in schema. So you don't need to change the map of a house, right? What changes you can make is when the house is constructed, you can make changes in the house. So we don't make changes in the schema unless there's a software, there's a big application like Exchange Server. When you install Exchange Server for emails, it makes changes in the schema. It just says, hey, I'm telling you Active Directory that whenever you create a user from now on, so you will create an email for that user automatically, if you want actually. So it will, Exchange Server is a big application. It will make changes in the schema. And it will tell its own, there will be distribution groups for all emails, and then there will be mail enabled groups. So some applications do make changes in the schema, but day-to-day tasks, I change the password for a user, I join a computer to the domain. Those changes are not saved in the schema. Just like you put a picture in the wall in the house, that doesn't mean that you have to change the map as well. You change the plumbing, you do some plumbing for the house. That doesn't mean that you have to change the map of the house as well. So schema remains the same, and critical change, maybe you're adding a new story, fourth story on, maybe you add, just then you make a change. So if Exchange Server is installed, it will make some major changes, like it will tell how emails will work with your Active Directory. Or databases will, there are some applications only, Citrix application that will make some changes. SCCM is an application that makes some changes, that how I will make changes in the attributes of users. There will be some extra features that I will add with the user whenever it's working. So it's just a scheme of things how Active Directory will work for all the objects. And we can change if we have a very good reason to change this. How do we access schema? There's a tool they give us, which is ADSI, edit. So if I go to domain controller, oh, do I have a domain controller? Okay, that comes to, I'll just, how do you install Active Directory? Oh, that was no fun. So in 2012, we don't use this command, but we can install from roles, Active Directory, but DC promo is the command that we use to, it's a file, not a command, install Active Directory in 2008. Oh, so it's gonna, okay, I'll just turn off firewall by that time. Oh, and I'll make a snapshot, just renamed IP given. When I come back to the snapshot for some other reason, I'll know where I'm going. Okay, while Active Directory is installed, I'll cancel it whenever I come back. So ADSI edit is one tool that edit is a tool we can use to access schema. We call it schema master actually. Schema master role. So you want to access schema, you can go with ADSI edit too. When the domain controller is there, we'll go there, and then we will be able to see that how Active Directory users and computers look, and when we access the same thing from ADSI edit, how it looks there. Okay, so I'll just create that quickly. That domain, create new forest. Local administrator account becomes the domain administrator, blah 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 blah. Oh, there's no password for local administrator. Okay, I'll just give it a command here.
This is the first function number.
The latest 2008 R2. So net user, this is, I'm just changing the password from command. Administrator, ABC, shift ABC, shift 1 to 3. Net space user space administrator. Net user changes the password of local accounts. Net user, right? If you want to write this command, this. Oh, error access denied. I'll have to put the go with the run as administrator. Press yes. I'll put again net user administrator. I want to just change the password of administrator or put a password. There was no password actually. We have a new machine, right? Successfully done. So net space user space whatever username locally available and space whatever password you want to give. It gives that password. Net space user space the username space the password. If locally you want to change the password. Oh, you're gonna catch this from that. You have a good zooming. All right. Oh, nice. Advanced camera. You got it clear?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Cool. Okay. So that error came that there was no password, so I gave it my domain.local. Oops. Next. Okay, the latest 2008 R2, which has more features, functional level. Next. DNS. Yes, next. I want to install DNS. DNS delegation is not found because there is no DNS installed, so that's why it's not found. So you can see that Active Directory installation, it's not bigger difference. No, actually there's no difference with the installation. Same thing exactly. Just the interface is changed for 2008 and 2012. Reboot on completion. Okay. So far so good. 2012 member server. I'll just log in locally because there is no Active Directory. I cannot join now. Okay. So yes, ADSI edit. We're gonna just visit that when we have Active Domain Controller when I'm available. So schema master role is responsible for processing updates to the Active Directory schema. This forest level operations master is present on a domain controller in the forest root domain. So root domain is the first domain in the forest. Root DC is the first DC in the domain, right? From which we started the whole forest domain tree thing. So some products that need to update Active Directory schema, such as Exchange, must run that process in the same site as the Active Directory schema. So you as a system administrator will not let any third-party vendor application to make changes in your schema. So you as a Windows system administrator will go through the vendor documents to make sure that what changes they are making in my schema. So if once the changes are made and maybe the changes are corrupt somehow, this is the only map of your Active Directory. In future, if you're installing some applications that need change in the schema and they're not able to do that because of those corruptions, good luck. I mean that you have to recreate the whole thing again if you want to get back the working schema. So administrators normally say that, suppose you're an administrator of Windows infrastructure in a hospital. There's a vendor that's hospital is buying a very expensive application, hospital application, but they're saying that they're going to make changes in your schema. You're going to stop them right away. That, whoa, hold on, and then you're going to take all the documents. You're going to spend days and nights checking what exact schema changes they're making. Still, you won't let them make that. There's another tool called ADLDS. ADLDS. Actually, it's not just a feature. Active Directory, light weight services. What does it do? It offers you replica schema. So you don't have to. So you don't have to offer your only schema. You just give them replica of your schema. So as an administrator, they make it a big deal that your application is gonna make changes in my schema. I'm not gonna let that happen. The lesser the changes, the better. Or if you're that sure or if it's a Microsoft product that has very clear documentation, like Exchange Server, there are many other, SCCM makes changes. There are many big applications that all make changes in the schema. But for third party, you would not let them. You will say, hey, I'll give you a replica of my schema, and I'm going to install ADLDS. It's not only going to give you LDAP services. So this means that ADLDS will let you, look up all the user accounts. So LDAP connection it will give you, which means a third-party application will try to see if we have 1,000 users. It would like to know how many users are there. Then it will like to give some of the users permissions on that application. So it has to still access our Active Directory. But this is just lookup. It's not making changes. But if that application wants to make changes, take a replica schema, ADLDS, install ADLDS, and make changes in that schema. That schema will not hurt. Any changes in that schema will not hurt our main schema. So it's something administrators fight for. So the root DC holds that schema master role. It's a hidden role. All other roles are, you can just, I'll show you where they are. Schema, you have to run a command to unhide it and then see it. So it's actually hidden from everyone. Okay, other products that need to update the schema may need to run on the computer that hosts the schema master. So, okay, that other products that need to update the schema may need to run on the computer that hosts the schema. Okay. Anyway, when you install Exchange Server, it's a separate computer that you install Exchange Server. You're going to install in next coming courses, and it's a very, very important application. So you don't have to install Exchange Server on the root DC, right? It's a separate server that you install Exchange Server. But since you are able to communicate with the Active Directory, so Exchange will over the network make the changes on the schema. So you can locate the schema master role by Active Directory snap-in from MMC management. So I'm just going to take you with that procedure, and this is the command that is shown that we run, which will unhide this schema master. But we're going to go with that. I'm just going to visit back here.
Why you want to unhide it, Unhide it?
In order to migrate the roles, we have to unhide and then do some right click and click the update or migrate button. So schema master, very important. More info on Active Directory schema. So I will update that, upload that slide there, Dropbox. This is where you can go in depth with schema roles. This URL. Okay, domain naming master. Second forest-wide role. So only two roles are there. One is schema, which you now know. This is the basic map of Active Directory, and you don't want anyone to touch that unless the application has a clear documentation, or if it's a Microsoft application. The domain naming master is a forest level operations master role, meaning that there is only one domain controller that holds this in Active Directory. The domain naming master is responsible for what? For managing the addition and removal of domains and application partitions. So you're adding a domain, new domain. There are how many types of domains? First is the parent domain, which is the only one. Then there is child domain or tree domain. Tree domains are also when you have a big company. Normally it's all child domain, child domain, child domain. It's always go on, go on. CNN has branches in 390 countries. So if they have Active Directory deployed there, it will be lots of child domains. Or maybe they have so many forests according to region, and then they have main parent domain, then child domain for each country. So whenever there is a domain created or removed, domain naming master role holder should be up, should be running. So what's the main purpose of this? Just to check the naming. The rule of the naming, something dot something should be there. Not if you just put one name and you're going ahead, it's going to stop you there. This is not the format we allow or recommend. Or if the name is already there, then it's going to stop. Hey, this name is already taken. Come on. and the application partitions in the forest. So it's responsible for managing the addition and removal of domains. So this is a very critical task. If suppose the root DC is down, you have 10 DCs, the FSMO role holder, forest FSMO role holder, domain naming master role holder is down, crashed. We would not know until we are creating a new domain. So we created a domain after 6 months. Maybe this domain controller had only this role. Another role you just migrated to another domain. There are 10 domain controllers. You shifted each role to each domain controller. I never heard that before. But yeah, sometimes 2 roles are here, 3 roles are on this domain controller, and administrator keeps a very good eye on those 2 domain controllers. Suppose the domain naming master is down, having just this forest-wide role. You will be starting to create a domain and you won't be able to create a domain or remove a domain. That it will just give you the error, domain naming master is down. So if there's no cross-check, I won't let you go ahead. So it's very important, but you will only know. So day-to-day task, you would never know that domain naming master role holder is down actually. You would know when you're performing this task, right? The computer that hosts this role is responsible for handling references to domains and forests. If we have cross forest, so just like this Best Buy and Future Shop, if they were different forests and they have cross forest communication established in second course, I think we will be doing forest trust as well, and it's also very interesting lab. That so if you have domains in forest that have trust relationship with source forest, it's going to take note of that too. That with which forest. So in my company we have like 7 or 8 forests because of their products, different products they have for the banking, right? So there are so many forests and each forest has so many branches. So domain naming master role would keep a track of, we have forest trust with these many branches, these many forests, and there's a domain in that forest that is connected to a domain in our forest. So domain naming master has a lot of things to keep an eye on. You can move the domain naming master role using operations master. So we're going to move that role as well. These are 2 forest-wide roles, right? So now we know that they are very important, of course, and on forest level they are making those doing those tasks. What are the 3 domain-wide roles? So each new domain will have these 3 roles, and yes, if this role holder is down, we will know right away. If you're changing a password and this role is down, PDC emulator is down, you won't be able to change the password for anyone. This is one of those tasks it's doing. There's a long list of tasks in Microsoft TechNet websites. They are saying that, but main tasks that you would know right away, oh man, PDC emulator is down, so there's something wrong, I can't change the password, and the error says that. Let me just check before we start the domain-wide roles. So okay, okay, what? Oh, just logged in, look directly. So we have a domain here, and I'm just going to join this 2012 member server to that domain, and I'll just show you the ADs I added as well. Oops, I'm putting a password. What's wrong with me? Alright, domain.local, enter, administrator. We have already deployed in early labs the additional domain controller, right? We have done the lab for additional domain controller. Okay. Because, yeah?
No, I was just asking, we have a domain controller and a member server. So
and a member server.
We have one operations master.
Yeah.
Role.
We have 5 roles. We're going to transfer all 5 roles.
But right now we have, as you said, 2 forest-wide?
2 forest-wide and 3 domain-wide, because it's the only domain. So domain-wide are also in the same server, and this is the only forest.
So right now we'll have 5 roles, right?
Yeah.
2 in the domain, 2 forest-wide.
Yeah. So that's it. These are the 5 roles only there, and we cannot have a copy of those. So we're just going to move them. I have a domain controller ready here. I'll just quickly go to that ADSI edit. Oh, there it is. Since we are on 2008, it's okay. In 2012 also you would see the same way. This ADSI edit role, and plus we have PowerShell here, Active Directory module. So it will have Active Directory related PowerShell commands. And you know what command was that to know which server holds the forest role and which server holds the domain FSMO roles. There was a command called get-ad forest, and then there was get-ad domain. So I'll just open the PowerShell module here. So where is the PowerShell? There are two types of PowerShell icons here. There is this one. This does not hold Active Directory related PowerShell commands. This is just Windows related PowerShell commands. What's the free space or any information about the operating system you want to take. But if you want specific Active Directory related PowerShell commands, then you would, after installation of Active Directory only, you can go to Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell, it says clearly. So I've opened this one, not the other one, right? If you try to put the get-ad forest there, it's not going to work. It's going to work here. I've opened this PowerShell for Active Directory, and I'm opening this ADSI edit. So if I open this ADSI edit in 2008, it's exactly the same in 2012 as well. Nothing changed here. So if this console is open, just trying to have a look inside the schema, that's all. Connect to, right click the ADSI edit and connect to, so default naming context, whatever is the name of the domain and the server, yes, I will say okay, that's okay. Default naming context, I'll just, whatever is default, I'll keep it selected and press OK. So the schema then starts, it looks like this. We can have different areas to go, but this will start getting a little messy. It will have its sub branches. So if we are looking at Active Directory users and computers, this is the skeletal structure of that users and computers. If you open users and computers, there is a built-in folder, there is a computer yellow folder, there is a domain controller folder. This is also there. Lost and found is not there, but it shows when you put the security advanced features there. Yeah.
Do you know how when we right click ADSI edit, right when we click back to, what do we put for name?
Just press OK. So don't make any changes. So it will still give you the inside of the schema. Just press OK at the bottom.
So if this is a schema, then we can make changes also. We can add users or
Yeah, we can do all those things. But we have a user-friendly console called Active Directory Users and Computers.
And what do we just do by user?
So what we're just looking at how the skeletal structure look like, and we are only supposed to come here if we have, as a last resort, that there's something not being created, you want to create a user, it's not being created, or something basic is not working, and you've done all the troubleshooting. Then you will go to the TechNet site, Microsoft site, go for that document, and it will take you step by step, go there and do this and create this. It goes on and on and on. If you go ahead and if you right click any of the line, if you right click and go to properties, now there's a long list of attributes here, that what it's supposed to do, what it's not supposed to do. You can change attributes here. Is deleted, not set, no, we haven't deleted that systems container or a user. This is the name for that. We can make any changes to any attribute, but what does this attribute mean? What is the feature that it's going to change when I make change here for that container? So we have to have a documentation for that from TechNet website, and then we can make those changes. So we are referred to go to the schema master only when there are some very specific critical operations that vendor want us to do. Otherwise, there is no reason to come here for day-to-day tasks. We see it hardly in 6 months or 1 year when we are troubleshooting anything. But we should know. Yeah.
So in this,
Oh,
if
sorry.
you make any changes to it, is there anything like
It's a permanent thing.
it's permanent? So there's no snapshot or anything where you could revert back?
Well, you can revert back. It's not that permanent thing that you cannot even delete it.
Right.
but it's not recommended first of all to make any changes in this way because there's a user-friendly interface already there.
Yeah.
And if you make change, there is a possibility of accidental change in the attribute list. So when there's a user-friendly version of Active and computers, go for that. Here we will come when we have a step-by-step document. Just like in the registry of any of the computer, we have always a Microsoft document or any other document. Go there, step this, step 2, step 3. So I've come here for troubleshooting once last year in a production environment. Before that, like 3 years back, I think. But we should know where it is and how it looks like and how to access. Okay, so PowerShell command for that. I think I have opened already that PowerShell module. I'll just put that Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell. Get-AD forest. Get-AD forest. I think this was the command, right? Yep, that's the command. So when I put get-AD forest on the role holder, it is going to tell me that schema master is there and domain naming master is there, and which server. It's telling me the server name. If I run from another domain controller, it's still going to tell me which is the server that is holding that. Server 1 is holding the domain naming master role, and server 1 is holding the schema master role. Okay, so we get to know from this PowerShell command. Okay, let's go ahead and with the PDC emulator, we should know the 3 domain-wide roles. Change of passwords, account password. So the PD emulator is a domain-based role that manages the following. Password changes, okay, we know that. So if there are 10 domain controllers, you made a change to the password on domain controller. You as a system administrator connected to domain controller 4 and you made a password change for a user. If that change, if PDC emulator is not available, what will happen? Domain controller replicate it, the replication won't happen between the domain controller. The password change will not be replicated, right? Ensures that password changes replicate to other domain controllers as soon as possible. So you make change if that user logged in to that particular domain controller 4. Okay, it can go ahead, but it's never the case, and you cannot guarantee unless you shut down all the domain controllers. Then you guarantee that the user will connect. User can connect to any domain controller, and that's it. If the replication is not done within 45 seconds, within the site 45 seconds, and across the site 180 minutes, right? So if that, so PDC emulator is down, this means domain controllers do not talk anymore, which means big trouble, bigger. Okay, time synchronization. Anyone knows that if your machine time is different than your domain controller time, does this create a problem? What kind of problems can it create? A user machine has Outlook and all the applications running for the network. Logs? What do you mean?
Means that, for example, if we do some changes and log will show.
That, okay. Plus, there is a much more, troubleshooting that you have to do. So once I was, my friend called me in the evening. Hey, come here. There is one branch, and Outlook is not working in those machines. The internet is not working on the machines, and I cannot access the network shared folders from a file server. So I went there 2 hours. Everything is okay. Pinging the server from any machine is okay. NS lookup is okay. DNS problems are okay. Switch is okay. No loose cable. And 2 hours, and I'm like, wow. Then I said, okay, too much time is there left. Spent. I'm just going home. I saw the time. Then I saw the time on the machine. It was different. Then I saw the time on the second client machine was different from the current time. So I corrected then I looked at the domain controller time. So it was like a hidden trial discovery. I didn't read at that time that, if the time of the client machine from the DC is different, your applications won't work. You won't have network connectivity. It will fall down. Network connectivity will be affected with that. You won't have, Outlook was not connecting. So the network connections will be affected if the time is different from a domain controller. It has to be in perfect sync with all the machines. So when the machine joins the domain, if you have a different time, it automatically syncs the time with the, so the client machines or servers, member servers, they all sync with the domain controller time. And who's responsible for the timing of the domain controller sync? PD simulator role. So if you have migrated the roles on 5 servers, again I'm giving that example just to explain, but I never saw that anyone is spread all the roles. So then the PD simulator is down, password changes won't happen, and the time synchronization will be affected, which means lots and lots of connectivity issues will occur. So time sync has to be there between the domain controllers and the clients and Exchange server. So Exchange server was affected because just the DC and clients were not synced with the time. Group policy changes, anything. So this is a huge topic. 2000 policies. We can just easily imagine if PD simulator is responsible, it's going to group policy changes might have a conflict. The PD simulator ensures that there are no conflicts in the event that the same group policy is being edited by 2 or more different people. So it's not that the group policy you cannot create at all. You can create, but whenever there's a conflict, if PD simulator is not there to solve the conflict, then the conflict will remain there. 2 or more different people at the same time are making the same change, and if the PD simulator is not there, then there will be error coming there, right? So 2 administrators, there are normally 3 or 4 administrators or 2 or 3 in large organizations. One guy has been given the task to, what we did, we blocked the desktop. The other administrator was given the task to uncheck that policy if it is there. So, or the other administrator is doing some other policy that is in direct conflict with that. So they are making the changes at the same time. But it's saying being edited by 2 or more different people at the same time. Yeah, same group policy, exactly same group policy. So whatever conflicts arises from there, whatever affects it goes down to the users. That will be, it will remain there if the PD simulator is not available there. PD simulator will resolve those automatically in the background, those conflicts created by similar policies by 2 different people. So automatically they can be resolved. One can be just denied access, the other can just go ahead with the policy, but it's not going to keep on conflicting and affect the users as well.
Is there any way to do this?
It's in the background. PD simulator does that. Policy detected, and then one policy will be denied access, or the one policy will be blocked implementation. It won't be implemented. Domain master browser. The PD simulator provides clients with a list of workgroups and domains when the client is browsing the network. What does that mean? Would you have any example for this? The PD simulator provides clients with a list of workgroups and domains. Workgroups and domains. Workgroups. Whoa. Okay, let's check the domains. When the client is browsing the network, when is client browsing a network? What is that?
Accessing shared folders or resources on the network.
Yeah, domain, when the client is accessing or user accessing the domain resources. So what happens? The PD simulator provides clients with a list of all the available domain resources. So if PD simulator is down, we cannot access Active Directory related network resources because the list of those resources will not be available if PD simulator role holder goes down.
This is the list of domains, not resources in the domain. So it says it lists the domains in the client is browsing the network.
So domains are not available, or any domain is not available. What happens?
It will not show up on the client side.
So the server that is joined to the domain will not be accessible as well.
Yeah, the resources will not be accessible.
Yeah. So you can move the PD simulator to another domain controller using operations master. So yeah, PD simulator is very mucho importante. Let me check. Okay, this other roles are easy. I mean, like they're not that complicated as PD simulator is. Infrastructure master, that's a second domain wide role. And then this was asked in three different interviews to me. Can you just tell me anything about FSMO roles? In one interview, what is the third role? What does it do? That's it. One question straight from FSMO. And if the FSMO role is down, what do you do? So all these questions in three different interviews, I had to answer those. If the FSMO role is down, you have to migrate those roles, seize those roles. It's not a normal migration; it's a seizure. Yeah.
All this comes under FSMO rules?
Hmm?
All this comes under FSMO rules?
Yeah. FSMO, flexible single master operations. So they throw it right away. They know you're AD expert. You have MCSA. Okay. So infrastructure master role. The domain controller that holds the infrastructure master role keeps track of changes made in other domains in the forest. So it keeps tracks of changes. What do you mean? Keeps track of changes made in other domains in the forest and their impact on objects in the local domain. So it keeps track of changes made in other domains which affects our domain. So if there are two or more domains and the users, you as an administrator are making changes in the other domains, what kind of change would you think that you make that on another domain that might affect your users or groups in your domain as well? We make changes in our domain, like what kind of changes we make? We add users to group, add join PCs to domain, create computers, group policies in our domain. So whatever changes we are making in another domain that affects our domains as well, those kind of changes, this guy is going to track. So for example, what? There's a domain. So there's a parent domain called bestbuy.local. There's a child domain called toronto.bestbuy.local. So the bestbuy.local parent domain administrator accesses the toronto.bestbuy.local domain and makes a change. But what is that change that will affect the users of our parent domain as well? So what will be the question here? Just the easy scenario. That's my local parent office is in Mississauga. And then tor.bestbuy. What change you would make that would affect the users? So there are 500 users in parent domain. There are 2,000 users in child domain. So you as an administrator make a change here. Infrastructure master would keep track of all the changes. You as a system administrator, as an administrator of this parent domain, making changes in toronto.bestbuy.local, hamilton.bestbuy.local, or any other. When you're making changes across the domains, infrastructure master role will keep track of those changes. Who can make changes? Only administrator. So your every movement, every modification is being tracked, right, in logs. And what kind of changes I can make on these branches that can affect my domain as well? What kind of changes? So there are groups here, global groups. So there's an accounts group here, and users here wants to have access to Citrix servers here. So Citrix or file server. The users in this domain, Best Buy parent domain, wants to have full control access to all the folders in the file server of hamilton.bestbuy.local branch. So you give access of parent domain users to the server of hamilton.bestbuy.local. So it affects our users that we will be able to log in. We are accessing across the domain. So all those changes will be tracked by infrastructure master role. And is it just tracking or is it implementation as well?
So if you're changing the permissions of certain folder, it will be tracked by the infrastructure master.
So if we don't track and know, then the information will not be replicated to other domain controllers. If the user tomorrow logs in from the second domain controller, the second domain controller must know, oh yes, you guys have access to this server, okay, go. If the second, third domain controller doesn't know that, the infrastructure master will tell those servers, hey, this is a change made, so all of you let these users go there and access that resource. So unless each domain controller in a domain also holds this is just a exam question as well. So if you have global catalog server, who is global catalog server? Okay, what does global catalog server do?
Keeps the part information of all the
Okay,
domains.
and that means it does what? Global catalog server does 3 words for there.
Forest wide search.
Yeah. Hey, that was quick. So Microsoft just says, if you have global catalog server configured here, do you know how to configure global catalog server? So there are 10 domain controllers. 10th domain controller does not have global catalog server configured, and your boss tells you, go ahead and configure it right now. Where will you go there? On the 10th domain controller, it's not configured. So from any domain controller, you can log in. How to enable the global catalog service on a domain controller? Any idea? I will go quickly like this. Oh, 9th domain controller, sir? Yes, sir. Okay. So I'll quickly log into any of the domain controller. I wish I had 10 domain controllers, but right now I would just go for Active Directory sites and services at once on any domain controller. If you have 10 domain controllers, it will show 10 domain controllers on Active Directory sites and services. If you log in from any domain controller, it will have information. Then I'll go quickly to sites. Then I'll go to defaults, first site name, servers. If there were 10 domain controllers, there will be 10 in line like this, just like server 1. But there is only one in our case. I would just go to entity settings of that particular server. Suppose it's the 10th server that I was told to enable global catalog service on for forest wide search offering to the clients. So I would just go to the properties of this server, entity settings, and this is the area which I have to check. This is grayed out. Why? But I should be able to uncheck if I want. Exactly. There has to be one global catalog server. Compulsory. This is compulsory. One has to be there. Global catalog server. Why is it grayed out? I want to uncheck it. I don't want global catalog service here. But we have just one domain controller. And if you have just one domain controller, global catalog service is compulsory. At least one server must be offering forest-wide search to all the users. If there are 2, on the second one, you will see this option, unchecked. You can uncheck it too. So quickly, if you want to enable that, this is the way to do that. Microsoft recommends enable it on all. Yeah, sites and services. But this slide just says that.
We still didn't understand that. The grayed out. Why was it grayed out?
No, why was it grayed out, or what's the function of that?
No, why was it grayed out?
Because there's only one server. So if the global catalog server is not enabled on the only server, only domain controller we have, then users cannot search anything across the forest. So global catalog is giving us a catalog of it's a catalog, global catalog, right?
You don't have an option to uncheck it.
Kari Saab is not me. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why it's grayed out, because we don't have an option to uncheck it.
Uncheck because one is compulsory.
Yeah.
If you have the option of only one and you क्विट कर दिया है अच्छा हम सारे स्काइप पे ही पढ़ते हैं बच्चों को स्काइप पर ओके एनीवे तो no so the only so one forest wide search service has to be there. One domain controller must be doing that. Since we have only one, that's why it's grayed out. Now we will have two. We will visit that again, and it will be enabled now. Second, when we have another more than one, it will be enabled. Now you can uncheck from anyone, but don't uncheck from both. At least one domain controller must be offering a search service for everyone, right? There is nothing to search. We won't be able to search. Suppose you are searching a printer on a parent domain, but you are in Toronto domain and you are searching a printer in Mississauga branch. So you won't be able to search if global catalog is not there. So global catalog. Do you have another domain controller?
Firewall.
No.
Firewall.
You're able to uncheck that. So guys, can you all visit 2008 sites and services? Are you able to uncheck that? It's not grayed out for you?
How do we go there?
Sorry. Here. Search sites and services, Active Directory sites and services. Right click here, entity as what? So grayed out.
That's what he said.
You're able to uncheck that, but it is by default checked, right? But you are able to. So maybe it thinks that I am more dangerous than you guys. So it grayed out for me. This guy, no option. For other guys, I am okay. I'm sure they're not gonna uncheck. But
So what's the reason? Because not quite grayed out.
well, it's welcome to Microsoft.
So can you just explain global catalog?
Global catalog is a forest-wide service, search service. So a quick example would be running out of colors here. Okay, this is a branch, Tor branch. This is a Hamilton branch. The user is sitting here searching for printer which has been published in Active Directory. So when you create a printer, you have the option, hey, do you want Active Directory to know that you exist here as a printer? So the printer information is published, name and IP is published in Active Directory. So when a user searches, yikes. So user in this branch is searching for a printer that is located in Toronto branch, second floor, third floor. So you have a printer called PRT 202. So second printer on second floor, PRT 202. So the user will be searching here. So in this branch there are two domain controllers, and they both have GC role, or any one of them has global catalogs role. So global catalog server, and there is a GC here. So they first of all they have They have what? Partial information of all objects in the forest. This is the main definition. GC has partial information of all the objects. Which role has full information of all objects? Partial means not full. But there is one role that has full information of all objects in the forest. Huh? It's located there. What is the name of the role that has the full information of all the objects?
Sorry?
Full information of all the objects. Where are they located? What are their attributes and classes? I just gave away. Schema. Schema has full information. GC has partial information. Partial means not exactly in depth all the detail of that object. For example, printer or user or a server, but it has enough information to direct you to that object, to search that object for you, to let you access or get access to that object. It has enough information to let you search that object. So global catalog, if you go by the name, globally, anything within the forest, global, within the forest, and there's a catalog. All the objects, there's a long list of all the objects in any domain within this forest. So global catalog means a catalog of all the objects available within the forest. So the user is searching here. If there is a global catalog server locally available, it has already the information of everything in this branch. Maybe there was another branch here. Everything is this branch and maybe more branches. So GC always have all the partial information of every object across the forest. So user searching for a printer, it's going to locate easily that, oh, this printer is on the second floor there. So the user will be able to add the printer while sitting in this branch in the user's computer and send a print from here to there. If GC is not there, the user will not be able to search. Or if GC is not at all here and here, if GC is not in the local branch, GC is only in the parent branch, you never enabled that check mark for the GC in the local branch. What happens? User is searching for a printer. There is no GC here, so no one is helping to look for the printer for this user. The request will go to the GC in the parent branch, and it will search and get the results over the WAN to that user and the user. So it will be a little more. So if there are 2,000 users in this branch and they are searching for something, you have a huge WAN traffic. So always have a local GC available for users. Always, always. So GC, partial information of all objects in forest, and it has information for everything, and it can just let you search anything. Right? Any questions?
So if the GC is not set on the Toronto office, so you can set on the Amazon office and then check on the GC and then connect it.
Just click, exactly. Once you click, it will start gathering all the information. Then locally, it will let you access that object right away, or right away you will get the information about that. Whether you want to add it or not, it's up to you. So it will let you search. Okay, 10 to 15 minute break, and then we go for the second two more roles. Then we go for the migration.
I mean, we're gonna get all these, right?
Oh yeah, I'm uploading now. Oh yeah, the exam. So who's where? I mean, you've given. Khalid has given 3 exams.
The man of the man.
The man of the man. Who's? You did the hat trick. Yeah. 2. And when are you giving the third one?
This week.
This week. Cool.
because I don't have a car. I'm at home, so.
Oh, okay.
I have lots of time.
Okay, what about your exam?
Yeah, I'm going to.
When is the date? Any possible guess that when you're giving?
The deadline is Tuesday.
So when are you giving?
Tuesday.
Or you're gonna be 40. We're gonna be $40 richer than. Okay, Tuesday. Okay, what about you, Kasim?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, and you're within this week. Yeah.
Maybe next week.
Next week, so $40, cool. Okay.
But he's already passed.
No, he passed one.
He's already
Oh, cool. You're out of that deadline. So when are you giving the next one? No, okay. Any guess?
No, I'm after 2 weeks.
After 2 weeks.
Because I have a retake.
Okay. 31 May is free second shot is gone. After that,
31st May.
yes. No, I sent the link
No,
as
he
well.
sent the link. It is
31st May.
Until 31st May, you can keep giving free second
You have a lot
shot.
of time.
So
After 2 weeks, I'm going to try it.
you done one, okay?
Otherwise, I go for 410. If I fail again, I'm not going to do it. 640. I will pass.
No, you will pass, man. We're sure your memory is better than ours. No, really.
You'll pass.
Okay. So. Just to recap, Schema master containing everything about the classes and attributes of all the objects in the forest. So the main forest-wide role. Domain naming master, second forest-wide role, taking care of all the domain naming and forest information if we have cross-forest trusts. Oh. Just a recap. Yeah, just a recap. PD simulator, changing accounts password. This is a domain-wide role, and time synchronization across the domain members. Domain-wide role. So group policy changes and domain master browser for letting the clients, access the domains and then their resources ultimately. Group policy changes if there's a conflict by two administrators for the same policy. PD simulator resolves that. Now, infrastructure master, we knew that it keeps track of changes made in other domains in the forest and their impact on objects in the local domain. So it keeps track of all the changes administrators are doing, or any other changes that are happening that will affect our domain as well. The second thing that's a common exam question as well, maybe not nowadays, it's not coming, that you cannot have, it's not recommended to have infrastructure master role and the global catalog role both deployed on the same machine. I've been hearing that since Windows NT, which is like 12 years ago. So nowadays, Microsoft says that we have very high-end servers. We have lots of memory and processing power. So even if we combine these two roles, although they are memory and processor intensive roles, they can just work together fine. But it was recommended that always, if you have infrastructure master role, domain-wide role, at least don't enable global catalog there. And now we know how to enable and disable global catalog. Check, uncheck, that's all. Right. So the RID master, this is also a domain-wide role. Why haven't I wrote that? Domain-wide. So we were discussing about before as well that SIDs are, or security identifications, identifier, the alphanumeric long number is given to every object created in the forest. So RID master role has that long pool of all the SIDs to be assigned to all the objects. So you're creating a new user, creating a new object. So we were creating 390 users. If the RID master role holder is down, we won't be able to create any object because SIDs will not be assigned to those. If security identifier, unique identifier is not assigned to any object, then it's not created. It's not going to be, SIDs have to be assigned for the object to be unique, right? So RID master role has that huge amount of pools for SIDs that it assigns to all the domains. So RID master role in this domain would have a pool of SIDs to be assigned to objects. You know how many objects we can create in a Active Directory? Millions. So each object must have unique SID.
Computer objects or all the objects?
All
Every object has a unique SID.
Every object has a unique SID.
SID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Social insurance number, same. So yeah. Every object. So millions of objects if you've created. It's not only users and computers.
That's a social insurance of domain.
Yeah. So the object must have a unique SID, and RID master makes sure every object is given a unique SID. If this role is down, you're not able to create any object because during the creation you assign a SID. So creation is not possible of any object in this particular area. Suppose there are 10 domains. RID master role holder went down for domain number 3 out of 10 domains. So other domains will not be affected by this. The domain whose role holder is down, that domain will not be able to create any objects, right? So it's not a forest-wide role, it's just a domain-wide role, so that particular domain will be affected.
What's the use of this SID? Where is it used?
So it's used to identify that this object is unique. Maybe two objects have
Like the process is used in authentication.
so that's a very good question actually. If you in 2012 if you want to join a computer to a domain, you cannot even do that. It will detect right away SIDs are similar. I cannot. So but 2008 it was not the case. They did not put SID level authentication for objects. In 2012 now you want to join, so clone two PCs and then do not put the sysprep in the template. Just without sysprep, you create a machine, shut it down, make two clones. Now create a domain controller and then join the PC to a domain, the other machine to a domain. It won't let you join in 2012 because the SIDs are same. If we had run sysprep in the template, the unique SIDs will be created for every clone. But if the machine is cloned with the same SID, it won't even let you join. But that's in 2012, not in 2008. In 2008, what happened? Exchange server. I had 5 clones. I installed Exchange Server 3. I tried to install. So first clone, I installed Exchange Server. Second clone did not let me install Exchange Server. It detected right away, hey, your OS has the same SID as my OS. I cannot let you install the second instance of Exchange Server. So then there, like 4 or 5 years ago, then I realized, whoa, sysprep. And if you want to work on virtual environment. Yeah, we can. There's a command called new SID. So actually that's a very good question. If you created a clone without sysprep, you have same SID, then there's a command called new sid.exe. That just gives you a new SID, unique SID. But if you have like 15 clones and they've all been created without sysprep, then new SID on everyone. So instead, just go with the template with proper sysprepping. It will create a unique SID every time the clone is created. Otherwise, new SID is for 1 or 2 cases where you are stuck with the same SID. So security identifier, so this role is very critical. The role holder must be online all the time, and it provides pool of SIDs. The SIDs do run. Domain controllers do run out of SIDs as well. So it just gives another pool of SIDs. That's the only continuing thing it does, because we are creating so many objects in Active Directory all the time. So it just keeps on. It's make sure that SID pool is readily available all the time. RAID master, did I skip? Infrastructure master, yeah, PDC emulator. So these are the three. Seizing. There are two types of FSMO transfers, migrations. One is I call it only peacetime. One is wartime. So peacetime is you're transferring a role, FSMO role, because of migration, or maybe because the hardware is too old for this domain controller. You bought a new hardware, you install another domain controller. Now you're just transferring the FSMO roles. So that's easy. We're gonna actually do the transfer. Then there is a seizure. What happens in seizing? Seize means you have to forcefully, snatch the role. But if the machine crashes and there is no chance it's coming up, and it's the root DC, and all 5 roles were there. So, it just crashed. Now what do you do? There is another domain controller, but FSMO role order is down. So now we know how many critical tasks are related to those 5 roles. As long as it's down, if it's a medium-sized organization, even 2,000 and up users, you're in trouble already. You're creating something and it's not getting credit. So seizing is there's a command prompt. There are many commands, and the second domain controller you have to activate the roles. Activate. You cannot transfer because crash has happened, right? You have there's no chance it's gonna come up if you determine that after troubleshooting. So you will have to activate those FSMO roles on the second domain controller. So at all times you must have 2 domain controllers. That's why even if you have a very small organization, if there was an Active Directory, always have 2, because the first one is down, the second one can still have the FSMO roles activated on them. So that's called seizing operations master. So we're not going to do seizing, we're migrating, so it's a, as I say, peacetime activity. So this is the command to move all the roles. There's a PowerShell command, but we're going to go for the graphical interface. So what is and this is the link for the commands that if we were to seize the roles in a system crash, what we need to do. So this FSMO role seizure is in the next course. We're gonna actually crash the machine, and we're gonna activate the roles on the other one, and then there are many things to do, cleaning up of the information of the older server. But right now, so we're going to be transferring 5 roles from 2008 to 2012, and the plan is there. So who's at what stage right now? Everyone has 2008 domain controller. Everyone has joined 2012. What happened?
No, actually I had a 8.1 version.
8 client? No, like 2008. Oh, that's a client. So 2008 server you don't have, huh? Okay. Okay, so these steps. One more thing that I did not add there, and we can do now. FSMO roles, they have to be transferred from a domain controller to a client, to a member server, or to a domain controller. Choice is yours.
If you're asking me, it must be DC because I didn't install DC on
The member server now must have additional domain controller installed. So let's go for that. So second server. So I'm just going to add that. You had it?
He had it and then he removed it so that he could join.
No. But if he had it joined from another to another domain, oh, then you had to do demote. Okay. Install AD Active Directory on 2012 machine, but this is a replica. So doing this, then we'll just easily transfer, right? So our machine 2008 has Active Directory. Second, 2012, I'm just going there now, and it's joined to the domain. I'm going to log in from my domain /administrator. First step is what? Make a replica DC on 2012. FSMO roles get transferred from DC to a DC, right? So yeah, I didn't put that there. So it's gonna be 5 minutes more. I'll just make sure that I have a single network card. Replica DC of our root DC, which is a 2008 domain controller. So 2012 can be a member server of a 2008 domain, and also can be a replica DC of 2008. So how to do that? Add roles and features. Next, on 2012, I'm just installing additional domain, Active Directory. So Active Directory domain services. Everyone's doing that. All right. Hey, some people have stopped. This guy here said last time he had medical problem. What happened this time? And yeah, your brother? And who else? Okay. And who else is? Oh yeah, this guy Faiz. Faiz told me also. Some problemo. Faiz says yes or then no. You already have Active Directory? Okay, so you have binaries installed. Let's just install Active Directory after that. So I'm just installing the binaries now. So you will just have to install Active Directory now. So binaries are installing, then we're just going to transfer the roles. Those are the steps that we need to know, where the roles are and how to unhide schema, then migrate that.
So we're not going to promote the domain.
2012? Yes, we have to. Just click promote. Cool. Yep.
We make templates of all the machines.
Oh yeah, I always keep it.
Right? Yeah.
Definitely, I keep it. Always. Yeah. Thank God. Otherwise, whenever it happens, I'm not recording and so much has passed. Everyone's like staring at me like, oh shoot, man. I'm just trying to stop my cough. If I start it 1, then I have to go out. It's gonna just pushing back. Just few hours more. And start the Active Directory. Yeah, you've done it gazillions of. Yeah.
I never had this service.
Whoa.
You must apply a user account.
What do you mean? User account? Can you little?
Yeah, at this stage.
Okay. Did you log in from local administrator or domain administrator? Did you? Yeah. So this. Yeah. So when you're logging in from member server, do mention your domain, my domain /administrator. All right. So I'm just gonna promote this second server to the domain controller, and let's go ahead. Add a domain controller to an existing domain. Yep. My domain.local is already selected. Next.
So it's local. So you gotta log out and log back in and just put my domain back.
Oh, then you're not part of any domain. If it just says administrator, then join it to the domain and that's it.
Both things should be checked, right? Global catalog, domain.
Yeah, they are by default checked,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's okay.
Next slide.
Yep. and the password for the DSRM. So, you know steps? Remember? Okay. So, whatever we create on one domain controller gets created automatically within 45 seconds. In our case, even lesser than that, in few seconds, it's gonna get created. It's a 2008 DC, and we're gonna have full replica on 2012 DC as well. So after the replica DC is created on 2012, I'm just gonna create one user or group or OU on anyone and see the replication, how fast it is.
The one more thing, when you do the migration, that's the one you say. Please don't say click that just mention
Click the thing that.
would be required. That would
Okay.
give me a help a lot.
Cool. So
You're adding a domain controller to an existing domain, right?
yeah, existing first one, top one. Yeah, sure. So let me know if I'm doing it right on the next step now.
If you're saying click object, you mention it click object or click right object, right?
Okay, so click install.
And whenever
Yeah.
you make a change somewhere, just mention the name.
Name of the change and everything.
And with it, like installation wizard.
You want the perfect audio. That's cool, man. You're not sharing this audio with us.
Absolutely.
MP3, send us the MP3s, man.
Actually,
Video as well. It's recording in the video as well. You're right.
So we are installing global catalog also or no?
Uh-huh.
Second domain controller.
Yeah, it's okay. It's always recommended to have as many. So in production environment, if we have 10 DCs and we have huge amount of users, I would not go for many global catalog. Why? So I have 5 branches, 10,000 users across the branches, divided in 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 1,000. So I would not enable all the domain controllers with global catalog. Why?
Lot of traffic.
Exactly. Lot of WAN traffic for search from so many users. So you would enable on strategic locations only one GC per branch is okay. If every branch has 3 DCs, don't enable a GC on a DC, on every DC. So it will be like searches going on WAN connection. WAN connection will be like. So yeah, we have to work smart. Okay.
More LAN traffic than WAN traffic.
If it's if a GC is locally available everywhere, then it's a LAN traffic as well, a lot. For any new thing that GC doesn't know, then it has to grab from WAN. Okay, my replica is okay, and I'm logging into the 2012 replica DC. The root DC is 2008, replica is to 2012, and the migration has to happen from 2008 to 2012. The FSMO roles have to be transferred. So where are those roles? In 2008. So 2012 now knows that my FSMO role holder is 2008. 2012 knows that, and we're gonna see those places where it's going to show that role holder is which one. So okay, so suppose domain wide roles. Where do I go? Administrative to, I'm on 2008 right now. So on 2008, I'm just going to go to Active Directory users and computers. And then on 2008, ADUC, Active Directory users and computers. Then simply, there's some video going on somewhere. Yeah, right. Really? You serious? Okay. Okay. It sounded like some video is open for YouTube videos.
Nothing's open for me.
Nothing. Okay, right click the ADUC and you will see operations masters. So click that and this will show only domain wide roles. And the role holder is who? On the top line, whatever is the name is the role holder, right? The second line would be if there was a second domain controller. In our case, there is a second domain controller, but it's not showing here. It is supposed to show here that the second guy who is eligible to have those roles transferred to should be mentioned on the second line. The first line is for the one who already has it. If now I'm on the source of the roles, who has the role. Let's go to the target where we're going to transfer the roles. I'm going to the second server and opening the Active Directory using computers on 2012, which is a replica DC of the root DC. So if I go to the same place in 2012 now, mydomain.local, right click, operations masters, exactly same thing. This time it's showing itself as the eligible next guy for the roles to be transferred, right? So role holder, it has the information of server 1 is the role holder.
These are the
domain-wide roles only.
If you want to access the forest-wide roles, you have to go to another.
No. So we're going to go one by one to the forest-wide roles. So first the domain-wide I was showing. Now I'm going to show the forest-wide roles where they are. So right click the mydomain.local.
So that means in migration, these 5 roles will be transferred.
For Active Directory, for the domain controllers only, yes. If it's a application being transferred, migrated, DHCP is migrated, DNS is migrated, or any other exchange server is migrated, they have their own strategies and their own different steps to migrate. This is just for domain controller migration from 2008 to 2012. We're going to discard 2008, or we can keep that 2008 as a member server until it is decommissioned.
So that will not be root anymore.
That will not be root anymore because 5 roles, whoever has it is the root. If
Are we going to
Root what?
root DC, first one,
DC.
root DC.
So that means we're going to work on DNS and DHCP too, right?
We're going to have one more lab for DHCP migration just to show how applications are migrated. And it's going to be much more trickier than this. This is, you will see piece of cake when you see the second migration. And it's migration season everywhere because of 2012. So that will be tough. And every application has its own procedure because every application works different. So because of their purpose. So every application has a totally different steps for migrations. So now on the target we went. So now the second one can be the FSMO role holder, and we're going to use the this prompt. Although from the first one we can also see this who we can transfer the roles from. If I go back to 2008 again, here, if I go to it's if I click change, it's gonna say, hey, who are you changing to? You yourself is showing there. So if I go and do the change domain controller here, I'm still on the source, and I want to show the second domain controller when the FSMO roles are showing there, not the same domain controller on both windows. So I can go on I'm on 2008, I can do this change domain controller, and it's not showing the second one. Yay! What? Okay. Okay, I can change domain controller if it shows. Anyway, then I have to just go to the second one. But this is another way that you want to migrate the roles from source to target, right? But anyway, first of all, where are the domain-wide roles? In ADUC, the 3 domain-wide roles are in operations masters. Now the 2 forest-wide roles, where are they? First forest-wide role is domain naming master. Let's go with the easier one. Domain naming master is in domains and trusts. So if I go to Active Directory, administrative tools, and to domains and trusts here on 2008, and on the top one, if I right click the top one, Active Directory domains and trusts, and I go to the operations master here. So top one here, Oh, so I'm just right clicking Active Directory Domains and Trusts.
Okay.
Then I'm clicking Operations Master,
Okay.
and this is Domain Naming Master role. Still, it's showing the same. So of course on 2012, the target is going to show different, and that's where we want to when you click change, it's just going to migrate. So one forest wide. Second forest wide role is schema. So schema is hidden. I will go back to that slide. I'll go back to that command for unhiding the schema role. This is the command. So first I'll go to run and type this command reg svr32.exe space schm schema mgmt management .dll
server 2
on server 1. So I'm just going to type this command reg svr32. So let me remember that schm.gmt.dll. Okay.
If you ran it already and run it again, does it give you any message saying that it's already run or no?
Yeah, it should say that it's already run.
Is that going in the PowerShell?
No. Either command prompt with admin rights or go to run and just type directly there. So reg svr32 .exe slash schmmgmt.dll. reg svr32.exe space done. svr32.exe space schmmgmt schmmgmt.dll and press OK. Alright, that's what we want. mmgmt. What happened? Oh, okay. SC. Did you write it?
Yeah, it just failed to load.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, I thought I should show you that. Oh, maybe it's like that. What? Okay, so I'll just go for the a little longer way. Command prompt, right click, run as administrator. Should have done it this way. Run as administrator.
Yeah, mine should.
Yeah.
Running into, we're running as administrator already.
Reg svr32.exe and schmmgmt.dll. Enter. Succeeded. Yeah. Huh? Oh, ठीक है. Okay. Schema.
What are the
Yeah, we have to right click the command prompt.
Why we use this command, like run as administrator, when we have an open, like after the open?
Yeah, there is more privileges are added to that command prompt when we run as administrator. More privileges, more everything works when you go run as administrator. Otherwise, still by default, some things are restricted. If administrator account somehow is open and somebody else takes over, like that Copilot did thing. That so co-administrator just takes over. At least he has to still have one more step or run as administrator. So I succeeded, press OK. Now how to see that? So I'll just go to run and I'm going to open MMC, Microsoft Management Console, just to see schema management. So it's like I have to add it. It's not readily available anywhere, just like other roles. So MMC, Microsoft Management Console, press OK. It's going to open a console, empty console, where we can add the schema role. So if we had not run this command, if .NET had said succeeded, and we have gone here, we would not have found that. So in second server, if you do the same, go to MMC and there, you won't find that because you haven't run that command on that domain controller. But here, you have run that. So how to add the schema master? Go to File, go to Add Remove Snap-in. Where is it? The second one. If you do not run this command, you won't find the second one here. So first we have to unhide it and then it's going to appear. Plus click add, press OK. So now we can transfer this while others also can be transferred. Okay, keeping it open. Anyway, how to see? Right click and operations master, same thing. Just to see who's the role holder, right? So server 1, server 1. Here also it's just showing that.
I have everybody is grayed out for me.
Yeah, it's grayed out for me too.
How do you get to? No, I can't even click. You can't to that window.
Right click, like this all grayed out.
Yeah.
Log out and log in from domain administrator.
Oh my.
Okay, so let's transfer the roles. In domain-wide roles, I'll just go simply to the target. I'm on 2012 now. I have already opened Active Directory users and computers. Right click my domain.local and go to operations masters. Now all you need to do for these three, click change and press OK. That's it. Click change for RID. Yes. Succeeded. See, so simple. That.
The migration procedure?
That's it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What do we do?
Oh.
Right with you? I thought I was just getting ready. Oh, this.
We're already done. So PDC, click change. Yes. Okay. Yeah, when you're done with 3, yeah. Infrastructure, click change, press yes. Okay. Now the role holder is the server 2 for just the domain wide. Yeah.
And what is it going to do?
So now the role holder would be the second server, right? Or the top window is now showing the after the change yes when you see back. And we're going to run that command, PowerShell command. So it is. What is the? When we go for the Schema role, then we can. Wow, Schema role, cool.
So it goes there and log out and log back in.
For?
Still shows server 01 on the top. Operations master. That's right.
Oh, you're on 2012,
Yeah.
and on the top one is still showing number 1. After you do the change, click change and press it. Mine is done, so it's giving error now. Change yes, change yes, change yes. Okay, for the domain naming master, same thing. I'm going to click close here because it's so simple and I'm bored to death now. So minimize Active Directory and computers. Still on 2012, going to tools, Active Directory domains and trusts. On 2012, I'm just going to right click Active Directory domains and trusts. Once the window is open,
It says you want to change it. So are we changing it or transferring it?
so it's a transfer. So the role holder is now different. The role has been transferred. That is no longer holding the role. Server 1 is no longer having that role. Yeah. So operations master on domains and trust. Now there's number 1 and number 2. Click change for the domain naming master as well. Press yes. Press OK. It's a little tricky for the last role, schema master.
Is this for schema or?
This is for domain naming master first forest wide role. Now the second forest wide role, which is schema master, it's a different. So everyone has done the domain naming master.
No.
So go where? Go to domains and domains and trust.
Domains.
Come on, man.
That's what I mean.
Domains and trust, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was supposed to go to sites and services.
Come on, come on. No, okay. Yeah. We always enjoy these moments. So it's very simple. Once you go to the domains and trust, done.
Yeah.
Done. Okay. If everyone's done, For Schema Master, we have to go to 2008, the source. Schema Master, here we just have to unhide first. So instead of doing that, we have already done that there. So go to the 2008, minimize whatever window is here. Oh, you know what? Schema Master was in the. Yeah, exactly. Don't minimize that. Yeah, no. No. If you minimize, open it. No, don't close it. The last role transfer is for Schema Master. Okay, if I close this window,
Run MMC.
no. Either this or you can just save it. So close, save. It's asking for you want to save it or that's it. So I'll just save it on desktop and put it as Schema. Schema Matter role. Oh, and a role. Wow, now I'm so hungry. So it's here now. Schema is on the desktop. We don't have to go MMC again and again and do that. So double click directly that if we have saved that console and it's there. Okay, let's transfer this last one. Right click, Operations Master. If it's grayed out, I'll close it again. Is it grayed out for everyone?
Yes.
Oh.
Not anymore.
What? No?
No, when you guys do the trust thing in the other server,
Yeah.
12,
It's not grayed out.
Back and you save it. You have to save it,
Okay.
right? I saved on the desktop. I went back and it wasn't grayed out anymore.
Cool. But it's still showing both servers same? Both windows same server? So one server one on both top and bottom window? Server one's-
Same, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to change that first. How to change? I want to see server 2 on the bottom window. So,
Wait, what service on the bottom?
Yeah, like, you know, those the one on both.
Okay.
otherwise we cannot transfer. Okay, how do we do that? Change Active Directory Domain Controller, the top one. If you again right click and change Active Directory Domain Controller. Everyone there? Okay, now you have the choice of second domain controller. So I'm just going to go to this change to option, which says this domain controller or ADLDS instance. I'm going to select the second one, press OK. And Active Directory schema is not connected to the Schema Operations Master. You will not be able to perform any changes. Can only be made on a Schema FSMO role holder. Yeah, whatever. Press OK. And now if we check the Operations Master, it shows 2, but why is it grayed out?
Mine's not.
Only yours not, but others?
How do you do that?
Man, how do you do that? You're the hero. You're our hero now. Yeah. Okay, so everyone is grayed out?
Yeah.
Everyone?
No, I don't have it grayed out, but it's still located.
2, it did not go to 2?
No.
After doing what we did?
No, I don't see the two.
At all. Okay, you know what, guys? If very strange thing starts happening, restart. Welcome to Microsoft. So I'm going to restart the second one, then I'm going to restart the first one. So, well, you are able to see the number 2 domain controller as well as see the change.
1 and 2 are grayed out, but the change button is not grayed out.
And the 2 is showing in the bottom window.
In the bottom.
When you click, okay, go ahead and click change.
Okay.
What does it say?
Are you sure you want to change operations access?
Yeah, comrade.
Yes. Operations access successfully transferred.
Oh man,
Okay.
congrats! You're the only one here who had full success. Who's also? That's not fair. Oh, okay, anyway. So since it's Microsoft,
How about the permissions?
Oh, but
yeah, it's the permission.
server 2 in both. Yeah.
So that's it. That's what we wanted.
Can I just switch those?
You know what? I'm just gonna restart my domain controller because it should not be grayed out. Change should not be grayed out. So there's something wrong with permissions or.
Save console, can I close that window?
Yep, you're done. You can put the commands now. PowerShell command get -80 forest. It should show server 2 as a role holder now.
No, but when I close the MMC,
It asks for save.
yeah.
We don't need now. That's a good idea. So transfer was easy. The DHCP migration is one other task, and every application, as I said, has different steps, so that's going to be much trickier than this, but we would know firsthand how migrations are done, right? So I'm just restarting the previous root DC. Wait for us to reach where you're reached already.
So I'm on my admin now, and I ran MMC again. Now what do I do?
So you're on 2008 or 2012? Okay. So in MMC, then go to File, go to Add Remove Snap-in, and so you should have stayed away when they were painting, right? When they were doing the paint. You should have stayed away. Just kidding. Yeah, you were saying?
It's gone. You have to just log in as admin. You don't have to restart it. When you sign,
Close and open.
It automatically goes to the user, right?
Yeah.
So now it's logging as admin.
So?
Do I click change?
Yeah. So it is showing server 2 and the change is also appearing? It's not grayed out, right? It happens. It's micro.
Yeah, so it says server 1 and server 2 that says changes like there. I can click it.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Click change and successful should be there, and that's it. Man, I have a...
And now both are 2.
Huh?
Both are 2.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. What is... Yeah?
I just have a lot of parrots and birds in my house.
That's the best answer. That's a good one. But that is clean, you know. So.
I don't use gel, you know, I just have
So you're run out of luck then, you know. You're carrying the luck with you. So when it's showing server 2 on both windows, it means what?
it's been migrated.
And we cannot migrate towards any other server if both windows are showing the same server. The same way. Now the other server will show both. This server will show same 2. The other will be the target one now. So whichever is the target will show itself and the source. Same way. Yeah, we just have to reverse the whole process if you want to migrate back.
And then now the first one is replica.
Yeah. Now the first one is no longer the king of the jungle. And it's taking forever.
Why does it take that long? Because it doesn't take this long.
When you touch FSMO, after that, especially when you seize the role from that domain controller is not supposed to be introduced back into the network. You're supposed to format it, delete that, or keep it disconnected from the network. If you seize the roles, we have transferred the roles. Still, it's better to have a new DC replica for the new role holder. It's better to have that. FSMO roles are gone from a domain controller, it acts weird. Anyway, so I'll just run that PowerShell command for the roles that have been transferred. So I want to see the domain-wide roles transferred. I'm on 2012 now. I'm going to go for Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell. So I'm in 2012 and opening Active Directory module for Windows PowerShell, and there was that command for domain wide roles. Who is the role holder now? So get AD domain, I think. Domain. Yeah, it's get AD domain. So it's going, it should be telling me, yeah, get AD, get dash ADDOMAIN, AD domain. So did you open the Active Directory PowerShell or just the normal PowerShell? You have to open the Active Directory PowerShell. So I have to go to Tools and go for Active Directory module PowerShell. Then Active Directory.
Mine is not doing that either.
The dash AD. There are two D's here. AD domain. ADD. ADDOMAIN. Okay. Oh. So infrastructure master server 2. Oh, it's a long one. PDC emulator server 2. RID master server 2. Okay, good. The information is a little, you know. So it's, you have to read the lines very carefully until you reach this one. For example, RID master. So I'm just infrastructure master mark, and so this line shows RID master as server 2, and then, you know, if we highlight all the lines, it will just show all others. PDC emulator is here. This is also server 2. PDC emulator is there, and infrastructure master is this one, also showing server 2. So we just have to read through the lines. All right, what about the forest wide roles? So I'm just gonna run up arrow the command. Previous command will come. Remove the domain and add the forest. Get dash AD forest. Enter. Now I haven't transferred the schema role till now, but I have transferred the domain naming master, so it should be different information for me. If I highlight the domain naming master, it shows me yes, I have transferred that server 2. But if I go for schema master, it's still 01. So the command is showing me the correct status of. So if oh my god, still loading.
Where do you go again to change the schema?
To change the schema master?
Yeah, the one you're going to do now.
So you know what, since it's loading, I'll just go for adding this. I need on 2012, I'm just gonna have to unhide it, but where to go is MMC, and then go to did you open that MMC? So go to file and then add remove snap-in. Okay. So first I'm going to just run that command again. Reg svr32.exe schmmgmt.dll. Oh god, thanks, it worked the first time from the run directly. So now I'm gonna go for MMC.
So now we're doing that.
I'm just trying to see schema on 2012 because my 2008 is still loading. Otherwise I would have done it from there. So once the MMC is open, add remove snap-in, file, add remove snap-in, and schema. Click add, press OK. Now I have schema master role open on 2012 because 2008 is still not responding. So first I'll go directly on operations master on 2012 for schema. Yeah, reg svr32.dll. No, .exe. Space schmmgmt.dll. So it's still showing above window and below window. So go, and I'm just gonna change the active domain controller. It's just showing the first one, so I just want to change it to the second one, but it's going to take time because the other domain controller hasn't loaded yet. Okay, it's corrupted. Already I showed how to do that, so just for the record of the video, we already know how to do that. I wanted to change it to domain controller second, but I cannot even right click now. It's frozen because it's trying to detect the first domain controller, and I should not have restarted it while doing the FSMO role while I was in the middle of this task. So 4 roles are done and 1 is not done. Okay, anyway, final role would have been, so who has done the schema master role successfully till now? You've done it? You've done it? Okay, cool. Yeah.
You're asking if the server 2, server 10 change is still there. That's right.
I'm just asking that the schema master is showing server 2 in both windows, right? Especially the top window. That's cool. So, schema master transfer? What happened?
No, I transferred it. Transferred with the last one.
Schema master?
Yes, schema
Okay.
master I have done.
Oh, me too.
Because it's not starting.
Oh, same thing, exact same. But I'm recording, so. Huh?
Server 1 should be done.
How did you feel that sitting there?
The jacket.
Man, it's the jacket, the good luck. You're carrying good luck there, some signs of good luck there.
No, because I restarted at the same time as you did, and it just finished working.
Oh, that's right, okay. Okay. My super slow drive is really super slow today. So, anyway, let's go for the next lab. Here, we needed to transfer the roles. We needed to understand the roles, what they are, how they're transferred from 2008 to 2012, domain controller. Then, there's a DHCP lab coming where we need to transfer an application. So, one is how DCs are transferred. Second is how an application is transferred from 2008. So, we need 2008 again for the next week. So if it's better to have a template, 2008, created with, sysprep proper. You know how to create a template now, right? The first video is all about only creating a template on the YouTube. So if you have 2008 ready, because I think I'm not going to work on this machine for any other lab. I'm just going to delete that whenever it comes back. But we needed to know how to transfer the roles. What are the roles? We know that now. And half of us have done that schema transfer. So in the video, it's not showing me. If it had shown, the procedure is exactly the same. Just click yes, change, and then yes, and that's it. And then we tried that command as well. So overall, DC transfer, FSMO role transfer is done. We can get rid of this. If I had this on and the last role transferred, I would have decommissioned it, and this would be the root DC 2012. Yeah.
Sorry, what if it's still grayed out? You're not very excited.
Then we need to troubleshoot. Just then sign out and sign in again. Wow, even after all this long time. So it's not detecting that. I'm just gonna give it another try, or okay, maybe I'll try to. Oh man. What is this? So as soon as I did the mydomain.local, it showed both the second one as well, first one. So I'm just gonna transfer, select that, press OK, and if I go to operations master, and I don't see that still. 1. Oh, I'm connected to 1 right now. Sorry. So I'm just gonna change Active Directory to second domain controller. Press OK. Yes, now it's changed. Now if I go to operations master, alright, now I can see both and the change is available. Yeah. Okay, with my throat. I think, sorry, what's your name? Okay, you can, did you try this? Are you on this screen on 2012? Maybe it did not restart. Go to this screen. Change Active Directory. You just have to go there, and you have to select this drop down. You did that? You didn't tell me.
No, I just did it.
Because it was not in my mind right now. God, man, share information. Anyway, so okay, so yes, it is for the record of the video at least. Now it's done. Click change. Yes. Okay, not done. The requested FSMO operation failed. The current FSMO role loader could not be contacted. I'll kill him. Oh. Okay, it's back. FSMO. नहीं ऑडियो में सारा है तो when you listen again and again and again and again. So what is FSMO role actually? If we have a recap and I ask the class what is FSMO role? Oh, that's the abbreviation. What does it do?
That's the abbreviation of what?
Yeah. Flexible single master operations. What is FSMO anyway? That's actually a valid question. Very good question. So there are there are 5 roles. What is a role? So we install a DNS role. What does it do? Name resolution. We install a DHCP role. What does it do? It assigns IP addresses to. So there are 5 roles that are just specific to domain controller only. DNS separate, DHCP separate. WDS is a role, but it does what we now know, that deploy images, right? So 5 domain controller roles only. So 2 roles are forest wide, domain naming master and schema master. So what does schema master do? Forest wide, it keeps information of everything. First role. So if we want to make changes to the basics of everything, for example, if you want emails, so when you create a new user, you want an email address, email mailbox to be created as well. So that is happening when you make a change in the schema. When you're installing Exchange server, it makes a change in the schema. Schema changes are only done on very high level for any new application that is added. So schema holds information of everything. It's a scheme of things. Skeletal structure of Active Directory. What is the second forest wide role? Domain naming master. Domain naming master does what?
It's responsible removal of domains and applications.
If you have the slide in front of you, it does exactly that. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm say word for word.
So domain naming master, go for the name. Exact wordings, go for the wordings.
Add and remove.
Exactly. So domain naming master takes care of, I'll play with the words now, takes care of domain names. Domain naming master role takes care of domain names. Go for the word. Why is it worded this way? The purpose is in the wordings. Global catalog. It's a catalog, it's a globally available catalog of things. Catalog is a list of what? Objects in the forest. We can go a little further with explanation, but if the wordings tell us a lot. Schema, scheme of things. Domain naming master for taking care of domain names. 3 and resolve domain names. 3 domain wide roles. What are those? RID, PDC, PDC emulator, or don't go for the wordings for PDC emulator. It's okay. It has totally different. And infrastructure master. So what does RID master do? It assigns SIDs. That's it. SID. It assigns security identifier. Your number is this, unique number is this, unique number is this. That's it. Oh.
Unique only in the domain, or
it is unique only in the domain. RID master for every. It's a domain wide role. So the next domain would have its own RID factory. I'm saying factory, but it's not a technical word terminology. RID master. Every domain has its own RID master, right? To get rid of, no, not that get rid. So RID master gives what? SIDs only. Infrastructure master, second domain wide role. It has nothing to do with forests, right? Infrastructure master does what? Keeps track of all the changes made in other domain that affects our domain, or we can just simply say infrastructure master keeps track of all the changes in the other domain and our domain. Keeps tracks of changes. That's it. And third role is PDC emulator. That is, you have to actually go through that 5 tasks again and again to remember that. So there's password change, password replication. If PDC emulator is down, domain controllers will not exchange passwords and user information of each other. So if you have created if you have modified a password of one user, other domain controllers will never know that. So if that user logs in from another domain controller, or other domain controller authenticates that user, that domain controller will not have the password of that user, so that user will not be able to log in. So PD simulator does how many things? 5 things, which are in the slide. But anyway, password replication. Second is this time synchronization. Time sync has to be exactly the same on all the clients and the domain controller. Time should be exactly the same. If it is different, it really affects the performance. It affects the performance if the time is different. Third is group policy changes. If there is a group policy conflict, then it will be resolved automatically in the background. If PD simulator is down, then what happens? The conflict will remain there. Even the first policy won't be implemented by anyone. Otherwise, at least one will be implemented. Fourth one, since you have the slide.
No, I don't have the slide. I just have my notes.
I shouldn't have said that you have the slide, See, now you have closed it. So, yes, these roles are something that we need to go through again and again to remember. But as far as the interview is concerned, and maybe the exams. But after that, till now, in my previous job and this job as a Windows administrator, we never had to do any migration for domain controller. So I never touched FSMO roles, because in production environments they don't expect you to touch or make changes on high level unless it's very necessary. But they want you to at least know that why is it so important. If this is down and anything go, so I was lucky that it never went down in my previous job and this job, but it could anytime go down and I should know what to do. They will all just stare at me and expect me to do something about it if it is down.
Are you a domain admin or
Exchange admin and AD.
Since where do you even go to like so it's the PDC and where do you actually go to?
So I would at least run the command and know who's the role holder. So there is a SCOM monitoring application that tells us right away. There's a operations department that calls us for priority 1 alerts. So priority 1 is any machine goes down. Priority 1 is for all the critical alerts only. There are priority 2 alerts which are in hundreds. We also just see it and ignore, randomly see it. But P1 we have to see every alert. So P1 there's a department, there's one guy dedicated to call those guys who are responsible for those servers. So if we would know that if the server is down, we would know in large environment. In where there's no dedicated guy calling you, then you should see your alerts yourself. So, but can anyone give me the one-liner for FSMO? FSMO roles?
FSMO roles deals with forest-wide and domain-wide roles, right?
Which very important. How they're important? I mean,
they are important for a different.
They have their own different tasks and duties, but forest-wide are important. They should not be going down. Otherwise, forest-wide operations will be affected by that.
These 5 roles are collectively called FSMO roles.
Exactly. 2 forest-wide, 3 domain-wide. So they have their tasks and duties. We just need to know. So I didn't need to know till now as far as I was, employed. I'm in the previous job I was employed. I didn't need to know. But the day it goes down, I will grab the first TechNet article. I'll go to Google FSMO roles recovery. TechNet documents. I'll just download one and I'll be ready in 10 minutes. Sir, this is the problem and I'll have to transfer. So I never would memorize that, but I will know where to get those documents. At once go there, okay, I'm ready tonight, we can just transfer the roles. But now I studied there, so I would know at that time that what I need to do, I already know that. How to do it, I will go to TechNet. Yeah, you were saying?
FSMO is abbreviation of what?
Flexible Single Master Operations. Flexible Single Master Operation. FSMO. So yes, now we would know that they are important. Whenever they are down in next 10 years while you are at the job, at least you would remember that where to go and get the document, because you're not supposed to memorize everything every day. Right now, yes, and before that, until the interview, yes, you need to memorize everything. Try to. Okay, so in my case, this is still okay. We know the procedure, and I just need. We should not wait for. We have another lab. We'll take till 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and then I love this impression. It's like, what?
You mean in our next
Not in this live, it's happening. But the time we have, we're just going to talk about another.
Just recap.
Yeah? Recap? Oh,
We will talk about the other migration.
no. There's another topic which is very, very easy. There are WSRM. There's a very cool feature. We all having 2012, right?
Actually, my machines are not ready. So in this lab, I didn't touch you and everything.
So you have a video.
This is 15 minutes. How we will do this next time? What was you saying, right?
No, we
I
can.
will prepare my everything.
But
And whenever you want to do something like different, just let me know. I will come prepared with my machine, right? So I go, you know what?
no, your machine is ready. You have 2012.
No, I didn't do anything.
Yes, 25.
No, I have, but they are
So why did you?
not configured.
But the rest, everyone has done it. Why didn't you do that?
No, you tell me you have to do.
No, nothing is configured. Just
Why?
I don't
You
know.
were unable to install the other one.
Oh, it
Have
was
the-
2008 and Windows 8.
So if you need anything to configure, just email me or something. Tell me
That prepare it beforehand.
Yeah. So I'm ready
Okay.
to do that, right?
Okay, so right now you have 2012, right? Start that.
Yeah. So I have to configure everything.
No,
No, you don't have to. You don't need a network or anything.
The difference in everything. You don't have to configure the network or anything. It's a different, not really simple.
You don't need a network for this. You just need a 2012. That's all.
Yes, then.
We
I have to
okay.
connect to the directory and domain.
You don't want to discuss the next topic. That's what you're saying, right?
Just 15 minutes. If you give me, I will prepare in 15 minutes done.
No, I'm not preparing anything. So we can talk about it. So, but we can just try to. I'll show you, but you don't have to follow, and we can repeat that again, right?
Yeah, show us.
Yeah.
Nazi can do it too, right?
Yeah. So it's getting recorded right now, and so there is that file and storage services. Let me just go to add roles and features. So we'll repeat it in the next class as well. But since we can use the time, we have discussed a lot FSMO already. So next. I'll just show you a couple of features which are very small features actually, but very useful. So there's a DFS feature, there's a FSRM. There are two very important features from file and storage perspective. FSRM, let's go for only one, which is very, which has very common tools. For example, ever heard of quotas? You have to put a quota on disk. What is a quota? You know, if we say in common terms.
A target.
Allocation.
A little more. You have to put quotas for this. Piece of something.
Allocation.
That's pretty general information. So quota is just about okay. There's a 1 terabyte disk. You have 10 users. You're putting a quota on users that each user will use 50 GB space of that hard disk. It was a piece of something, yeah.
A piece of, it could have been that thing.
The luck jacket, the lucky jacket. Yeah. Anyway, so what I was talking about quotas, exactly this. In my previous job, there was university had 2,000 students. At that time, it was starting. So we had to put quotas because they were given a folder over the network that was mapped to their profile, and they could save everything, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, to their folder. But they were saving movies and pictures and songs. So our file servers were running out of space instantly, very, very quickly. We would add terabytes and it would just keep on filling up until we put quotas. So now the users, 2,000 users, each user was given brutally 2 GB. So when the quota is reaching, they would have to delete. So there would be a message to them when they're downloading things, oh, only this much space, 10 MB space is left. So either you start deleting your stuff or the space will fill up. That's all you're getting. So the benefit of this is, what's the benefit? We put quotas, what's the benefit?
Restricts them. Restricts the users.
So benefit is?
You can save this space.
Hmm?
You can save your...
We save disk space.
space, yeah.
So if 2 GB is given and they are downloading and downloading and downloading, it's not increasing above 2 GB. You fill up 2 GB, that's it. It's not going to increase to 3 GB, 4 GB, 5 GB, 6 GB. So we can implement quotas on file servers and we can restrict the sizes. This is a need everywhere now, especially for Exchange server mailboxes. Now, if a mailbox is 50 GB, there are so many emails in our Gmail and Hotmail. We have like thousands of emails that we never check, and they're dropping every day. Every minute they're dropping. So mailboxes are increasing as well. In our Exchange environment, we put quotas on mailboxes.
Can you put quotas on groups or who use
hard disk? But we can add group of users. We can add individual or group both. Put a quota on anyone or group of users. So there are quotas here. Then there are classifications. Then there are oh, sorry. No. Yeah, this is File Server Resource Manager. Quota management, file screening is very cool. What is file screening?
Not to allow movies like media.
Not to?
Not to allow it.
How?
By creating a file screen, you are not allowing the user
To do what?
download
Download.
the media file.
So
any file whatsoever.
exactly, you put file screening on the disk. First of all, you put a quota. Then you put a file screening as well. That if the user is downloading MP3, MP4, or all the video and audio extensions, as soon as the file is discovered, it won't be allowed to download even.
It's only for video and audio or other
No,
files?
every kind of extension you can add. It's just going to cross-check with what you're putting there.
It was in the exam actually.
Okay. That's all.
That's how we know.
Storage reports management. So there's a file screening, there's a quota here, and then there's a storage report management. So it's all about how much disk has been filled and how much remaining, how many folders, which is the abuser, which user is the abuser of those folders, which has the most files, what type of files are there. So the boss would love this report, and definitely you would start screening up. So in a university, in another country, I was, we were given the task of students were saving a lot of those kinds of videos. So my brilliant administrator one day said, hey, we need to complain about those students who are putting those kinds of videos. They're objectionable. So I said, yes, okay. So you should make a Excel file and put what is the intensity of the video or the picture. So it was how intense material is that. So you'll check the picture, see the picture or video, and then see it was very intense, and write that. Or see the picture, and I was looking at him and like, are you for serious? Yeah. Yeah, so which rate is there? And I was like, whoa, you kidding me? Then he said, okay, sorry, I wasn't thinking at that time. That admin.
Why hired such a stupid guy?
So no, he was in his creativity moment. So, so classification is a property for classifying type of data and then telling you, okay, there's document DOC is this much, so office related data is this much, and this whatever you put there, MP3 related or any extension related, how much data is there for what kind of people. These are groups. For groups, this kind of data is there for users with privileges. This type of data. So classification, there are many types of classification with which you can get reporting according to the classification we make happen. So if I can only show you, so just go with the wording. You can classify according to what they offer. Okay, you want to classify according to the types of files, types of the users, type of the groups, and then it will make a record which type of users have which type of data saved here. I can just show the quota, create quota, because it's getting recording, and we're gonna repeat that again. So if we create a quota here, and we can browse the disk on which we can put the quota. So if I put the quotas on downloads, press OK. Create quota on path this. So only downloads, not the whole drive, just the folder. So it's that granular. And create a quota path, or auto apply template and create quotas on existing and new folders. So whatever after this is created, all folders, the quota will be implemented. And there is that template, but we're going to define custom. If we go for custom properties, then we go for hard quota or soft quota. So soft quota would be just warning given to user, oh, you've reached 2 GB, and start deleting, and the user of course will always ignore that and go ahead and reach 50 GB. So its soft warning is just too soft. So hard quota is where you give the limit, if it's MBs or in GBs, definitely nowadays it's GBs, and you go for like 5 GB limit. But if you want to check something that does it really work, I'll just go for 2 KB just to check if on downloads I paste a file more than 2 KB, it should give me a message, right? So I'll just put 2 KB hard quota, which means don't allow after that. Notification threshold, you can add a threshold there, and even the user can be emailed that, hey, you've reached 85% of that quota already. So try to do something, report it, event log it. So I'll just cancel out from here. But if I put 2 KB here, and properties of this, press OK. So on the downloads, there's a 2 KB limit. More than that, it should not allow me to copy or do that. So create, save it, save the custom properties as template, save the custom without creating a template. So don't create a template, just create one policy. So it's created here. If I refresh that and go to that download folder, and I'll just I need a file. Okay, program files? No, users. Okay, administrator account. I'm logged in from there. No, that's the local admin. Copy that to downloads. Downloads folder. Okay, 58 megabyte is needed to copy this item. Delete or move files so you have enough space. There is not enough space on downloads, so already it works, right? I just put 2 KB, and more than that it's not gonna let you allow unless you delete stuff. And on the same folder, if I put a file screen, create file screen, first I have to give the path, definitely. Downloads, press OK. Define custom file screen properties. I'll just say that do not, so active screening would be do not allow at all. But I will just go for a Word file or a documents related file, text file. Don't allow any text file to be copied to this folder called downloads. And it's active screening. Passive will just monitor, active will actually implement that. So if I press OK for a text file, I think text file will, if I go to edit, .txt, it will not allow. Okay, good. So press OK, create, no template, press OK, and refresh. What will happen? So I'm just gonna try to create a, in the downloads folder, I'm gonna try to create a text file. Text document. You need permission to perform this action. But if I try to create any other bitmap file, 0 bytes is needed. There is not enough space. Already 2 KB is done. But so it was a space message. But for text file, it's saying that you're not allowed. You need permission to do this. But for others, since it's a 2 KB, so it did not let me just create any file. I should have given at least 1 MB. $157. So, and the screening has all this. Okay, guys. Then have the 2008 server machine ready, and we're gonna go from there. We're gonna transfer DHCP role from 2008 to 2012, right? And there will be then smaller topics, many smaller topics like NIC teaming. Although DHCP will take its time, but we're gonna cover lots of these smaller topics, which are very, very. At least we should know when our boss says, "Hey, just screen him," or just put a quote on that guy only. So we would know where to go or what he's talking about.
You know, for 3C emulator, it's not, so it's also for time synchronization, right? Isn't that, so what's isn't that done through integration services?
So in domain environment, it's always all the members of the domain, client or server, have to be synced with the time of the domain controller. And the domain controller takes the time from the NTM server or the internet, or it's fixed with its time. It just catches the time. What time we fix, that's already confirmed. After that, the members have to be exactly in sync with the time. But what are you saying about the integration services? What do you mean by that?